Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 615 Scoreboard Show. I'm Joe Spears, joined alongside Scott Burton, Cam Reed, and Chris Brooks is behind the sticks today because he's having some, technology issues. It is what it is. It's technology sucks. Gentlemen, how we doing this morning?
I'm I'm thawing out like Thanksgiving turkey here.
Yeah, feet. Still can't really feel my feet, which is normal for cold temperature games. But man, what atmosphere!
Yeah, you guys were at Macon County, Anderson County. Of course, I was over at Springfield for Page and the Yellow Jackets going off. But what a night, guys. We had three area teams advance to Chattanooga next week. Let's go ahead and get right into it. We'll kick things off on the 6A side of things, where Oakland comes back and beats Maryville 21-13. Oakland down 7-0 at one point. They tied up, go down 13-0 or 13-7, and then they just kind of take over after that. Kevin Creasy back in the state championship.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think that they made some adjustments on the defense side of the ball that helped them get to this point. Holding this Maryville team to 13 points is something I'm not sure anybody held them that low of a total this year. So kudos to that Patriot defense. And ultimately, in the second half, they were down. I think they were down 13-7 at the half.
Yep.
And they come out and got in the double wing for the most part and ran DeJuan Morris and ran Craig Tutt and stop us if you can. And they made the plays to win the game.
I think you guys are right. The defense was the key in this game. We had been talking earlier about how lately their defense had not played well, and they really put a boot on those of us who thought their defense was lacking. Both teams were. Well, the Rebels were a perfect 3 for 3 in the red zone, but the big thing was two of those were field goals.
Yeah,
and so. And I think in the second half, I got to confirm this, but I believe they held Maryville to under like 45 yards in the
something
second
like
half.
that.
I mean,
Something
yeah,
like that.
it was amazing. Uh, yeah, yeah. You were talking about second half. Cam DeJuan Morris finally came alive in the second half. He had 132 yards and two touchdowns. Not in the second half, but 132 yards total. But the two touchdowns were the two they needed in the second half.
So Oakland back in Chattanooga. It's become an annual tradition for them to play for gold at this point. Maryville hasn't been there since 2019. Oakland's just kind of dominated this series whenever they play each other now. So Patriots doing what they do. And we thought they'd get a rematch of some. We knew they'd get a rematch of some sorts, whether it be the Ravenwood rematch or the rematch of last year's championship game. It'll be a rematch of last year's championship game. Houston comes from behind, beats Ravenwood 24-21. Chandler Day hits Andre Allen with about 4 minutes to go for the go-ahead touchdown, and they get a couple defensive stops late. So Ravenwood's undefeated season comes to an end on the road at Houston, and Houston gets to defend its state title.
Yeah, Ladarius James intercepts Ravenwood pass with under a minute left at their last chance, and we knew this Houston team was good. We knew this Ravenwood team was special. This is just, and I don't know whether it's home field or it just Houston was really, really that good to put the brakes on a really good defensive Ravenwood team.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me this is just a telltale sign of once you get further into the postseason, when you get into the semifinal and the championship rounds, the amount of errors that can be made gets a lot smaller if you want to keep winning. And I think that ultimately Ravenwood made one or two mistakes last night that they couldn't overcome. And kudos to this Houston team that battled injuries throughout the regular season. They're pretty healthy now going into Chattanooga, and I know Oakland is in a way excited to get another shot at this Mustangs team.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great game.
I think Maverick Chance had a couple of touchdowns, had a pretty good night rushing. So,
yep. Here's how the bracket plays out. Oakland all the way through. Houston, maybe not as dominant as they were last year, but get the job done. Teams from Brentwood are not going to want to see Houston ever again, I think. Last year, they knock out Brentwood in the semis. This year, they take care of Ravenwood. They end on back-to-back years in the semis. They end a Brentwood team's undefeated season. So tough break for the boys out there in Ravenwood, but they're going to be really good next year, guys. They bring back a ton, including both quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So let's get to our first highlights of the night, and we'll go to the game I was at. Page at Springfield. Springfield's defense rises up right here, guys. They get a huge fourth down stop when Page is driving. That ultimately leads to this touchdown pass from Kason Woodson to Cam Cobbins. He just outmuscles William Weebush there for a touchdown. First time all season, Page has trailed, but the Patriots would not be denied. Eric Hazard getting in here for the sack. That's 1 of 2 on the night for him. He was kind of a force last night, which is not surprising at all. Great punt return here from Peyton to get them in scoring position. And then Weebush with a little bubble pass here to McLean Copeland, and Page ties it up early in the second quarter. Brendan Ains gets his number called. He punches it in. This puts the Patriots up, and they just do not – they don't crumble from there. Hazard gets his big paw on that, knocks it down. Then we got our first turnover of the second half here. This is on Springfield's opening drive of the second half. Knight Wilson, almost said Owen Wilson. Good Lord. Knight Wilson picks it off. Page is going to look at this run by Isaac Odie, the freshman, just breaking tackles, gets him down to the 2 or 3 yard line. Springfield's defense holds, though. They get the field goal, Page makes it 17-7. But the Page defense, man, they just make plays all game. I mean, this is what they do. You're going to get the pick here from Colin Mulick. Tips it up to himself. It was either him or William Weebush. One of them was going to get a pick there. It didn't matter. Great return here. Sets up Page and just great scoring position. He's hyped. Page's sideline's hyped. Weebush calls his own number here, and he'll punch it in. 24-7 Patriots at this point. They're just kind of rolling. At this point, you just kind of know what's about to happen. Mulick, one-handed interception there. His second of the night. He had a great evening. And Page will put the finishing touches on here shortly. Just a great run there by Colt Brown. And then Presley Cozart punches it in. And Patriots headed back to state yet again. My mouth.
That was an incredible interception.
Justin Bruce actually had an interception at the end of the game too. So I was talking to Toby at the time. 4 interceptions for that Page defense last night. I do also want to point this out. Shane, I am okay. I did get obliterated by Knight Wilson, just absolutely demolished. I'm feeling it today, but I am good. So Page takes care of business, guys. This is just kind of what they do at this point.
Right. Yeah, we thought even as good as Springfield played against Beach last week, they had to try to find another level because Page is just on their own level right now. Mm-hmm. And Springfield come out hot, which was expected, right? That atmosphere and the adrenaline flowing, and then Page really settled in. When they put Ains at running back and took the 14-7 lead, that was kind of the moment where I think Springfield was like, okay, this is different.
Yeah.
And
so
go ahead, Scott.
I was just going to say, this is like the second or third game where somebody's come out, opponents come out on Page, scored, and then really kicked them off defensively. It's like shooting a bear with rock salt. Yeah. Okay, it stung. Now I'm going to kill you.
The play of the night, though, came from Gavin Rush, the Arkansas punter commit. He pinned Springfield all the way back on their two or three. Springfield had all the momentum at that point. I mean, Page had given up a touchdown. Their offense hadn't done anything, and he just pins them all the way back. And all of a sudden, they're on their 3. Eric Hazard makes a really great tackle. And then Peyton Dickerson, the sophomore for them, I think he's going to be really good here in a couple of years. has a great return, and that sets up an easy touchdown drive for him. So a lot of flags on the Patriots last night. It was an interesting game called by the refs. I'll leave it at that, but they take care of business regardless. I mean, 31-7. That's just kind of what they do, and they get a Sevier County team next week that trailed Oak Ridge it was kind of a back and forth game from what I saw, and they first state title appearance I think since 2015 for Oak Ridge. So or Sevier County, sorry.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're not the cardiac cats. They're the cardiac Smoky Bears.
Yeah. Well, they have a really good quarterback. Newman, the quarterback for Sevier County, 22-29 for 321 and 5 touchdowns in that game. So, Paige is gonna have to prepare for a aerial attack, I imagine.
Yeah, very
going
much
forward.
so. It's an aerial attack. They do run it with a freshman. Really good Sevier County team. They got a lot of good football players on that team. But they cannot afford to do what they've done the last 3 weeks. They can't let a team get up 2 to 3 scores on them and hope they can come back, because that's not going to work against Page. I promise you.
No, I mean, this is a Page team that I'm telling you, they remind me so much of Pearl Cone last year. There's one singular focus, and that's winning gold. They were confident last night. They had no issues. They had no issues doing what they do, but man, yeah, it's a good comment. I mean, Sevier County is going to be a test for them. It'll be interesting, but Sevier County is running into a Page team that's simply pissed off after the last 4 years.
Yeah,
So.
three straight years of frustration, and you're standing in the way.
Yeah. So we got more highlights coming up next. Cam, I'll let you take over.
Yeah, Anderson County at Macon County. Got the runouts for both teams. It's gonna be a pretty long video.
It's a pretty long game.
It was.
Yeah. Even longer than we were out there at 4.
Yes. Get things going. Macon County gets a stop, and there goes that man. Seemed to be the story of the night, as we'll get into it. But Gabe Borders takes it to the house, and Lafayette is absolutely going crazy, as they should be, up 7-0 early in the first quarter.
What an unbelievable atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
Anderson County answers right back. Landon Hensley in from 9 yards out. They had a face mask penalty there that was tacked onto the kickoff. Anderson County gets a 3-and-out for Lafayette, and then Mr. Football finalist Waylon LaRue goes 67 yards, missed blocking the back there, pretty clear. But LaRue shows how fast he is, and that's very, very fast. 14-7 Anderson County. Macon County, Gabe Borders answers right back. We're 14-14 at some point here in the second quarter. Macon County is Luke Gammons will find Kellen Hire there for a touchdown. Missed extra point, leaves it 20-14 Macon County. Anderson County rolls down. He's going to try to hit the corner route. Gabe Borders intercepts it. Macon can't do anything with it. And then right before the half, Anderson County, Waylon LaRue in for a touchdown. 21-20 at the half. First possession for Macon County here. They get in the wing tee. That's a fumble recovered by Anderson County. And then Waylon LaRue goes in for his third touchdown. Anderson County up 28-20. Ensuing possession, huge pass play here to Kellen Hire to get the safeties back a little bit for Anderson County. That sets up on the very next play a Zach Borders touchdown run. 2-point try was good. 28-28 late in the third quarter. Anderson County comes down again. They're going to take I think I missed a Macon County touchdown. That was 35-35 right there. This is the score that puts Macon County up 41-35. Offsides on the extra point sets up a Macon County 2-point conversion, which was good. Macon County leads 43-35. Under a minute to go here. Wow. Touchdown for Anderson County. They go for 2 here. as you'll see, they try the old-fashioned pick play in the flat, the Clemson play. Pass was incomplete. The flag on the left was for offensive pass interference, and Macon County recovers the onside kick, and the party is on in Lafayette. Macon County makes their first ever state championship game with a 43-41 win over Anderson County.
Yeah, I think the one that I'm going to say a couple things about Cam here. First of all, I have it that Cam said the first one to 40 would win this game. Macon County was the first one to 40.
Yep.
So I'm going to give him props. The second thing is he missed the 85-yard run by Gabe Borders. He was doing that because he was too busy recording the stop from the previous play. So, yeah, he did a yeoman's job last night. It was just a track meet.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be super needy, but if we're going to spend all the money on the goalpost, can we get a self tower booster at the stadium?
After the game, the goalposts in the I guess it would be the east end zone were paraded down Meadow Drive, and the rumor is they were dumped in Sullivan's Pond. So there's at least a goalpost floating somewhere out there in Macon County. Truth be told, this game came down to guts. It came down to guts and execution. Going for two to tie it up and getting it, and that was huge. Going up or tying it at 28, and then later they bring the kicking team out. What was it? 41 to 35. They get a procedure penalty or an offsides penalty. Moves the ball up, and Kyle Childress decides to go for two to make it a 43-35 game. And all of a sudden, you could feel everything change in that stadium when they hit that two-pointer.
Yeah, and there was probably a handful of plays, probably 4 or 5, and not necessarily plays, but calls by Coach Kyle Shoulders that everybody's going to say, well, that was risky, or the word that everybody uses for it. I'm not going to say it, but it was. But that's what it takes sometimes to win these type of games. You have to trust your kids to make the plays, and they made the plays. You had an onside kick recovery that helped Macon steal a possession, so to speak. You had the 2-point conversion to tie it. You had the 2-point conversion to go up 43-35. But ultimately, I thought that the most pivotal point in the game is 21-20 at half. They come out after half. Macon gets in the wing tee, which they were not in the wing tee at all in the first half. They pick up 2 or 3 first downs quickly, and they look like they're going right down the field to score. Anderson County forces a fumble at midfield. Anderson County goes down and scores. They go up 28-20. Macon County could have folded very easily right there.
Yeah.
That is a backbreaker. They got back in that wing tee. They went right down the field and scored, got the 2-point conversion, and the game was on from there. Defensively, it's hard to say giving up 41 points is a masterclass, but I think that they executed their game plan to perfection. They didn't give up any big plays other than the big long touchdown run by LaRue. I think from a passing standpoint, their mindset was, let's keep everything in front of us and make Anderson County play another play. And they executed that to perfection.
Well, you're right. Because every pass play that went for distance was really a short pass that was turned into yards after the catch. That was, I think they didn't hit the big long one, but that short passing game, they made Anderson County hold it. Anderson County had 13 third downs in this game. They, I think they converted 5 of them. Now, on the other hand, Macon County had 5 total third downs in this game. They didn't convert any of them, but that's because they were breaking runs on first and second down and moving the chains.
Scott, do you have the total numbers for Gabe Borders?
I do have the total numbers for Gabe Borders, and they are insane. Gabe Borders, 19 carries, 265 yards rushing, and 3 touchdowns, and a pick. You got to throw the pick in there.
He also had the onside kick recovery.
Yeah, that's true. I don't have a stat, but I don't have a column for that. But I mean, you look at Zach Borders, who had a big day as well. Zach was 1485 too, but he also had 8 tackles on the day. I mean, just a tremendous effort on all sides of the ball. And yeah, absolutely. Macon County brought it. Anderson County, they showed up. It was a tremendous atmosphere. I mean, it was tremendous.
Yeah, I won't say much because I will have to do a formal apology on Tuesday. But I did get this game wrong in every single facet, and that's the only time you will ever hear me say that.
Yeah, good
Congratulations,
thing.
congratulations to Macon County. I said on our Instagram live last night that Springfield's been the hottest team in the state, and they really had been. But Macon County's right there. 3 weeks ago, they go to Upperman and they beat the Bees in Baxter. Last week they get their revenge against White County. I mean, ever since that White County game that they lost in the regular season, they've just been on a tear. And I can't wait to see when they unveil the Gabe and Zach Borders statue, as well as the Kyle Shoulders statue up there in Lafayette in the near future. So that's going to be an electric atmosphere next Saturday morning. And we'll see who they get to play now. Pearl Cone goes all the way out to Melrose, and try to get that score up here in a second. Pearl takes an early lead, but they give up a touchdown late with about 40 seconds remaining, and Melrose is headed back to the state championship for the first time since 2005. Pearl Cone will not get a chance to defend its state championship. Heartbreaking effort for the Firebirds last night, who had a massive win last week and just couldn't keep it going this week. The Golden Wildcats. I love when adjectives are on mascot names.
Hey, we're going to have a great uniform matchup.
Oh my God, yeah. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
You're going to have white on white on white versus gold on gold on gold.
Jamarian Morrow was the big thing for Melrose.
Yep.
Yeah, he had 106 yards rushing, 105 yards passing, scored both the teams touchdowns. His dad, Jared Morrow, I think it's his first year at Melrose. And this is their first time, I think, back in the semifinals or back in the final since 2005.
Yes.
So it's going to be 2 rabid fan bases descending upon Chattanooga next week.
Ultimately, this is another sign. We've talked about it numerous times. Memphis is back, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They got Memphis. 3 Memphis teams made it to state last night. We'll talk about one here in a little bit, I believe. But we thought this was a tough game for Pearl going out there, and from what it sounds like, Javion Kennard maybe only had 3 touches in this game, which we know he was banged up, but still, man, at this point in the season, you just kind of got to throw it all against the wall. Macon County probably has not seen an athlete quite like Morrow, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say Melrose hasn't quite seen anything like the Borders twins this year. So should be a fantastic matchup. Melrose's defense is legit. Macon County is just unbelievably hot right now. This could be one of the best games we see all next week, and that's kind of been the thing for 4A the last couple of years. 4A has typically been one of the better games.
Yeah, and it could be a really good matchup. One thing that I think is a huge advantage for Macon County, you saw it in the second half last night against Anderson County, as Melrose has 6 days to prepare for a wing tee. Not sure that they've seen a wing tee this year.
Yeah,
it's not a normal offense anymore, so that is a big advantage for Macon County.
I'm just shocked. Of all the regions, you look over there and you see a 3 and a 4 in the final.
Yeah.
That tells you the depth of talent that's in 4A.
Melrose is a really good 4 seed.
I'm pretty sure Melrose was the 1 seed.
That's what I thought. I was kind of confused. Okay. One other team that will not get the chance to go back to Chattanooga, East Nashville. They fall on the road to Westview in a game that was really, really close throughout. Another shootout. East Nashville actually led this game 12-0 before Westview got on the board. They intercepted Graham Simpson, his first of the season, but with about 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, Westview takes the lead, and they just never look back. They roll off quite a few points in a row, and the Chargers are headed to Chattanooga, and we'll take on Alcoa next week, guys.
And Graham Simpson had himself a game. We knew he'd be a problem for East Nashville and that defense. East, we were concerned about their linebacking core just because they're younger and they weren't the same as they were last year. Graham Simpson goes 28 of 38 for 374 and 4. And he goes. I guess the most telling thing, Joe, is what you said. With them rolling up points late, 18 of 18 in this final 18 passes. So, Graham Simpson is special. And, I'm thinking that we're going to see a good matchup there, but it was just, heartbreaking for East Nashville trying to get back there. They just ran into a team that right now is just offensively good.
Yeah, it's a juggernaut. Just call it what it is. And we've talked about it off there. I know me and Joe have. This might be the most intriguing Alcoa state championship matchup since the CPA days when CPA was in public school. Yeah. So, man, I'm excited for this matchup next Friday. I think it has potential to be similar to that Macon County Anderson County game. The first 1-40 may win that game.
Yeah, I think we'll all pick Alcoa here. I mean, I would assume. Maybe Cam doesn't because he's trying to gain ground. But this will be the best quarterback I think Alcoa's played all year. Easily. Might be the best offense they've played all year. Simpson will be unreal by his team. He's going to be thank Jared Curtis, but he might be the number one player in the country at this point. At that point, his senior year, he's unbelievable. Their wide receiver core does not get talked about enough, and their line plays really well. I know East Nashville did get some pressure on him last night, but honestly, I think this is kind of the matchup a lot of us wanted to see. Yeah. Just Alcoa, we all knew it was going to happen. They take care of Sequatchie County, but Westview, man, that offense is dangerous.
This was the when we had our what was it, our long shot picks or whatever it was, this is the Westview team I said could disrupt that Alcoa streak.
So that's that'll be the first game on Friday morning, 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Should be quite the game.
You guys are gonna get a workout on that first game.
We're gonna get it's gonna be a long weekend, guys. Not sure if we have the other brackets. I know. We're done. So we'll talk about kind of the other games. The 2A matchup is going to be Marion County and Milan. That's going to be a great ball game as well. Marion County just absolutely throttles York Institute last night. Just not close at all. Milan gets a game from Fairleigh. The one game I want to talk about, and I don't know if you guys have seen anything about it, McKenzie loses to Mace. McKenzie was up 27-14 or 27-13. They gave up 18 points in a span of 2 minutes and 30 seconds last night.
Yeah, they had a pick six and then a couple of touchdown passes,
something like that. It's weird. It was 27-6. So I don't know what happened in that game. I'm very confused.
I'm gonna watch it.
We'll have South Pitt and we'll have Mace playing for the 1A state championship.
Sneaky great matchup. Yes. Super athletic on both sides. The linebackers for Mace versus, I think his last name is Cooper, the quarterback for South Pitt. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be athletes all over the field. When you have athletes on both sides like that, a lot of the times line play can determine who wins. So I'll have to see a little bit of film this week and come up with who I think is going to win it.
Yeah, I from what I know, Mace likes to throw the ball around quite a bit, and then South Pitt you just kind of assume is the power game that they always have. So two very different dynamics. Don't know if Mace has maybe played a team as physical as a South Pitt. So we'll see. Milan's winning 2A. That game's going to be great. I don't know if I have Milan winning, to be honest with you. Marion County's hot right now.
Marion County's got more than one. That's what's tricky about that matchup. Jaden Pete, we talked about it on our show. He probably should win Mr. Football in 2A. But Marion County's got a couple guys. They're super athletic, really fast, overall team speed. They're not just totally dominant up front, but they're good. So, yeah, that 2A game's intriguing too.
I think it's a testament to
don't believe a thing that Cam or Joe say about who they might pick or who they won't, because there's some gamesmanship going on between them. Cam wants the belt. Joe wants to keep the belt. I just want to stay above 800.
I mean, shorter show today, guys, so we can kind of talk a little bit more. What's some of your biggest takeaways from last night? Not Macon County related.
Oh, dang. I was going to say don't expect good service in Macon County next week because I don't know that anybody will be here. Biggest takeaway is, some of the teams that we thought, were locks weren't. And there was a lot of low scoring games with teams that we thought might have, more points, and so defense kind of ruled in certain areas.
Yeah, I think we've talked about the second round and the quarterfinals were revenge tour type games for a lot of teams in our areas. I think the word going into Chattanooga is going to be redemption. And that goes for several of our teams. That goes for a Page team that's got 3 straight silver balls. That goes for an Oakland team that's not happy with the way they played against Houston last year. That goes for a Marion County team that, has played for the Go Ball 3 times in the last 20 years. Their last state championship was in the 90s. So there's a lot of teams looking to finally get over that hump. And a lot of teams looking to rejuvenate their programs.
How many well, I won't say newcomers, but for who haven't been there in a while, do we have? I mean, I know Macon County is one. I know that it's been several years for Melrose. Has Mace?
I don't believe Mace has ever made it. Sevier County, first time since 2015 or something like that.
Yeah, first time for Marion since 2016. That's probably about accurate for Milan too. Milan would have been in that middle teens years too.
No, Milan was like early or 2020, maybe 2021. They played Alcoa in the 3A state championship game.
Yeah, of course Alcoa is there, but there's some newcomers, some new faces, some new. Some schools are going to have a shot at getting their first hardware, whether it be silver or gold.
BGA's first time back since 2018, I believe.
I think it's Columbia Academy's first time playing for it too.
It is, yep.
So the more things stay the same, the more they change too.
It was Oakland that played Haywood this year, not Milan. Very similar color schemes though. That's gonna be fun, man. This got some really great games. I guess. What games are you guys? Because this is what we were asked last night multiple times. What games are you guys most excited for? What game?
Alcoa Westview.
Okay.
It's definitely up there. Man, I'm gonna go 6A. I think that's got potential to be the best game of the week. You got an Oakland team, like I said, that is not happy at all with the way they played last year in a bad weather game. Don't want to make excuses. Houston come out and out physicaled Oakland. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But can Oakland's guys, can DeJuan Morris and Craig Tutt go win a state championship? We'll see.
Part of me wants to say Page just because of the storyline. I think it's a fascinating storyline, and trust me, we'll have a lot on that. Spoilers. I've been down to Page quite a bit in the last week. I'm gonna go Macon County Melrose. I just the last couple of years, the 4A game has been the best game. You go back starting with Tullahoma Elizabethton, and then you had Anderson County Pearl. You had Pearl Upperman last year. I think we're going to get another amazing 4A game. And, you get a Melrose team that could win its first since 2005 or something like that. Or no, it was 90s, wasn't it? Or did they win
Melrose?
I don't think they won one since the late 90s. They played for it in like 04 and 05, but they were in 4A with Maryville at that time.
Okay. So you either have that or you have Macon County, who heated rivals to Upperman, who they watched lose the state championship last year, potentially get one over on Upperman this year. So I think that storyline is fascinating. I just think that's going to be a great game. I think we have a lot of really good games next week.
I agree. I think that you're going to be storyline rich.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah, and ultimately, as soon as we get off the air, the work starts for us. We got to start finding Twitter handles and all that great stuff for the teams out of our area.
I already got them all.
You got players too?
Yep.
Look at you.
Yeah. I was doing that last night. I was up till about 3:30. I am tired. I'm a tired boy today. It's going to be a fun week. We have 6 area teams competing for gold next week. I do want to thank Macon County. Even though I picked against them, the fact that they won gives us teams in 4A, 5A, and 6A. We very easily could have had a disaster scenario for us as a media outlet and with our coverage area teams where we only had the 5A game. And that would have been awful. But now we have the 3 biggest classes in the public school sector to cover, which is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm excited to see the crowd making rings and how much hell they'll give me for picking against them.
Well, make no mistake about it. We saw parts of it last night. It won't just be Macon County and Chattanooga. It'll be Macon County. There'll be some people from Charleston County. There'll be some people from Smith County. There'll be some people from Gallatin.
I saw Clay County out there last night in Gordonsville. Yep. And I'm standing on the sideline, trying to find out where I'm lost in all the commotion. And I'm sitting there on the fence and I see these 2 guys walk by with a little section of the goalpost, and they walk by me. And then I see like a whole crew walk by me and down Meadow Drive carrying the other part of the goalpost. And where are you going? We're going to Sullivan Pond.
So, yeah, and for the folks that don't know about the goalpost up there, they wasn't never breaking that one off at the ground. That's one of the old style goalposts where it's concreted into the ground. That was not coming down, so they just ripped the uprights off the goalpost.
Yeah, Springfield. There were fans from everywhere. A lot of beach kids were at Springfield, giving the Springfield kids hell last night. That got a little heated at times. Page. I don't know, man. That Page team, they're just fun to watch. They just kind of do everything right. And when you have I'm a sucker for good special teams, and they have one of the best special teams units I've seen from a high school around. So
yeah, and I said it to a couple of the Macon County kids last night, but my biggest last takeaway it's real simple. It's the next day now. You enjoyed it all night.
Yep.
Job's not finished.
Yep.
Oh,
job's not finished.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest thing for me with Page last night is they were celebrating, but from the seniors like William Weebush, the Brendan Ains, Eric Hazard, they were celebrating. They were happy. That's the biggest thing they kept saying. They're like, we're not done. We'll celebrate for a couple more hours, but once tomorrow hits, we're back at it. I mean, it'll be interesting to see teams that haven't made that sort of run like a Page or an Oakland before or Houston for how they handle this. Because it's a whole different ball game now. So, guys, shorter stream today, which I'm all about it, so I can go back to sleep. Gentlemen,
now there's evidently some kind of game going on today that a lot of people are interested in. I don't know what it is. So.
Between an orange team and a black and gold team.
Yep. All I'm going to say is real simple. Let's show them who Big Brother is.
Notre Dame plays USC at 3 or 2:30, so that's all I really care about. But anchor down. I just need Vandy to cover. That's all I want. Gentlemen, I will see Cam. I'll see you after the stream, and we'll talk a little bit about Chattanooga. But Scott, I'm glad you got a great game in your short time back, and we'll see you here shortly.
I'll be watching from afar.
So for Joe, for myself, for Scott, for Cam, for Isaac, Tyson, KJ, and Chris, who I wish Chris could have been on today. Just the Macon County grad himself, but technology issues. So
hey, look, he's coming. He just came back.
There he is.
Maybe just in time. Maybe just in time.
Before we go, your thoughts on Macon last night?
There's a thing about small town high school football that we talk about here and how it's different. And it really kind of came to fruition last night, just seeing the joy and the happiness from everybody around. So many people that I had seen that I'd known for years. I grew up with Kyle Shoulders. He was a year behind me in high school. So that interview was special, doing that with him. We never thought we would be able to do it. But also give props to Anderson County. That was a fantastic football game, and a shame somebody had to lose because that was a state championship quality game, and they handled themselves with class, and they have nothing to be ashamed of today. They emptied the tank. So got to give kudos to Anderson County for that. That was a special night and a special game to cover, and glad I could see it.
Well, Chris, I'm happy for you as someone, Cam can agree, who's seen their alma mater win state championships and compete for state championships. It's a cool feeling, and I know you try to be as unbiased as possible. At this point in the season, who the hell cares? Be happy. You get to see Lafayette in the state championship.
Yeah, and I was so fired up for him last night. I know I sent the video in the group chat, but I was so fired up.
Yeah, he showed unbelievable restraint last night. I mean, you'd get a little fist bump, and then he'd go back to filming, and you'd see a little smile, and then he'd go back.
Well, after we get off here, he's all about it. So, guys, great work as always. We got a ton of stuff coming. Instagram is going to be live for a couple of days with all the video we got last night and all the pictures. And then Tuesday night, 7:00, we'll be back on previewing all the state championship games and with our picks, and we'll see if Cam or Chris can catch me. Chris is now a game back. Cam, you're still 3 games back. Chris should let loose, and Chris will let loose if Macon wins. Saturday could be a very big day next week. I'll leave it at that. So, for myself, Scott, Cam, Chris, Isaac, Tyson, KJ, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you Tuesday night.